We'll start for today. Good morning, first of all. I'm Rifat Abdul Wahab. I'm head sector of research and development at the holding company for water and wastewater. I'm proud to be moderator for the session today. Today, we have actually 5 presentations from different countries, from Jordan, from Germany, from Saudi Arabia, and another one from Jordan. The first presentation was focused on the challenge and accomplishment of implementation of a decentralized system wastewater management in Jordan by Dr. Miyong. Dr. Miyong, she's a friend of us with the SWAM project and other international projects. She is currently the head of NICE office at the Ministry of Water and Irrigation in Amman, and she earned her PhD in economics, and they have many years of experience with UFZ in water governance. So please, Dr. Miyong, for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Where do I have to? Sounds nice. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, Dr. Rifat, for the introduction. I'm glad to be here today, and I'm also glad to be the first one, because then I can completely focus on the discussion. I don't have a Windows computer, so it might look odd what I'm doing here. Just finding my presentation. There it is. Okay. Thank you. I press here. Okay, yes, I do that. Okay, today I will talk about the challenges and accomplishments of implementing decentralized wastewater treatment and reuse in Jordan. And this is a presentation that was, I'm just presenting it, but it's a joint work of different people from different authorities in Jordan, among which I should mention His Excellency Secretary General Bassem Telfa, and also Secretary General Assistant for Policies and Strategies Ali Suba, and of course the new Assistant Secretary General for Wastewater in the Water Authority of Jordan, and my colleagues Basim Abbasi, Manfred van Afferden, and Roland Müller. I don't know if Dr. Basim is here, but he's currently a guest professor at University of Guelph in Canada. So we have been working on the topic of decentralized wastewater treatment and reuse in Jordan since 2006. So it's not, so we almost here 9 years, or almost 10 years. And what I will try to give you today is a summary of what we've done, the bottlenecks, and what remains to be done in the future. Is there feedback? So for those who are not from Jordan, the rural potential for decentralized wastewater management is about 600,000 population equivalents estimated in Jordan, and there's a suburban potential of 1.6 million. These are numbers from 2012. So they need to be updated, but it's quite difficult to update them because, as you can see, the map, there's a GIS analysis required, which is quite detailed. But anyhow, just to continue the summary, the consumption exceeds 150% renewable resources, and most of the consumption goes into agricultural irrigation. There's a significant groundwater pollution and contamination of springs through domestic wastewater, also industrial, but mostly domestic. Turning the water into non-potable water, basically, or generating a requirement of stronger treatment to turn it back into potable water. The infiltration rate estimated of domestic wastewater to the ground is 45 million cubic meters per year. The annual increase is 4 million cubic meters per year. That is about a lake of 6 by 4 by 2 kilometers. Sorry, it doesn't mean 2 meters, it means 2 kilometers. Problems with odor, surface flooding, contamination, and associated health risks, they're all present in Jordan, and one of the means or the main measures that we have devised together with colleagues from Germany, Jordan, but also other authorities, like the Jordanian authority, with other agencies. We have now a standing cooperation with the GIZ, has helped us to actually bring decentralized wastewater management to the political agenda. On the picture on the left-hand side, you see a typical infiltration process. You have sewage coming out of the house into a collection tank and then into a septic tank from usually a lot of septic tanks in Jordan. They infiltrate directly into the ground. Since it's karstic ground, this does affect directly groundwater in most areas. So what are the benefits of decentralized wastewater management in general? You can treat partial flows. That means locally where the wastewater is generated directly, so you don't have wastewater seeping into the ground on the way to the treatment plant, which is also a major problem in Jordan. You can use it for water recycling locally. You can do water recycling locally and use it for groundwater recharge, but mainly in Jordan it's interesting for agricultural reuse, or for reuse in agriculture. You don't need to connect a village or a community to a treatment plant some 5 or 7 kilometers away and construct all the network. You need a network, but it's a reduced sewer system. Also, in some cases, you can use more simpler systems like borehole systems, and you can do it demand specific. It means that those systems can grow with the population demographic development. This induces higher flexibility for all the investments. So when you have like a smaller community, you connect a smaller community, let's say between 5 or 25,000 people, and you can devise a clearer investment for the technology and the sewer network that you need to put in place. So these are the general benefits of decentralized wastewater management. They apply to Jordan, we would say, fully, also to other countries in the region, in the arid context or semi-arid context. As I said in the beginning, we started to work on decentralized wastewater management in the context of the region in 2006. The objective was to devise an integrated water resources management in the lower Jordan Rift Valley that included not only Jordan but also Palestine and Israel as partners. And we have about 25 partners from Jordan, Palestine, Israel, and Germany. I also have to mention that one of the main objectives was not only to talk about sanitation and improving sewage management, but also to improve groundwater management, transboundary groundwater management among the participating countries in the region. The SMART project, this is an acronym for Sustainable Management of Available Water Resources with Innovative Technologies, had 2 phases, and the second phase, each phase is 3 years, the second phase ended in 2014. We will start with the third phase now in 2015. Approval is still pending for the funding, but we have informally it's agreed upon that we will start sometime in 2015. In this quarter, we don't know exactly when, and that will be for another 3 years. Coordination is in Germany, but the main works are done in Jordan, and some of the major works are done in Palestine, but Jordan still remains to be the main partner in this project. I don't want to go through all the phases. What I want to mention is that we had to move from applied research, or we wanted to, from applied research. That means measures or methods of site selection, for example, for decentralized, and the construction and operation of the research and demonstration site in Fuhays, that's in the Balkan Governorate, to an implementation, what we call implementation research, where we devised tools for implementation of decentralized wastewater management in Jordan that can be transferred to other contexts and other countries as well. So we built scenarios that are based on a GIS analysis where we compared centralized management for different locations with clustered decentralized systems to see which of the systems would generate the higher benefits. So what we do not suggest is a competition between centralized or decentralized system. What we would like to apply in Jordan is to have decentralized systems anywhere in Jordan where they generate more benefits than centralized systems. That's usually in the hilly areas where you have difficult topography. It's usually in the rural and suburban communities. What we have in Smart Move, that's the third phase that will be starting belated, as you can see, 2015 or 2014. We will have a stronger connection to the project that I will mention in the following. It's called the National Implementation Committee for Effective Decentralized Wastewater Management in Jordan. So just to give you an overview of the three pillars of implementation, applied research, technology development, that meant that we looked at different technologies, decentralized wastewater treatment technologies in Germany and at the site in Fuhays. We researched them, we tried to improve their performance with easy methods. For example, we used different attached materials to enhance the microbiology. We compared those technology developments with our research site in Germany, where we have 8 wetland sites, or 8 wetlands that we compare to the processes that are happening at Fuhays here in Jordan. And the second pillar stands for the decision support and economic efficiency tools that we devised. Among others, the main, from my perspective, was the GIS analysis, where we can integrate geographic, demographic, and economic information and identify the best locations for decentralized wastewater management throughout the country, the whole of the kingdom. But also we can already we do a preliminary design of the local situation, how the sewer network would be outlined, where would be the best locations for the treatment plants, how many treatment plants would be needed, and whether we could all connect them by gravity, which is one of the most important points as we see it in Jordan, because pumping is a major issue, technical issue. The third pillar is capacity development and setting framework conditions. Capacity development means that we implemented different programs on different levels, technical, academic, and professional levels, inviting our partners and employees and staff of our partner institutions to Germany to have them trained there or to work with us on our research side, but also in our academic institutions. And But we also implemented, for example, a school program here where where we taught teachers of primary schools in teaching units on that we called Water Fun. The unit basically contains how wastewater is generated and how it could be treated, and for that we constructed small wetlands, or we had the material that small wetlands could be constructed in class, and the pupils could actually generate wastewater with soap, with earth, with whatever hair, whatever they had, and then treat the wastewater in class and then apply it to the local area or the school area. So we conducted 120 trainings. That means 120 teachers in Jordan and 160 teachers in Palestine. And thereby we would try to cover an estimated number of 6,000 pupils in Jordan and Palestine. This is applied research and technology development that I just mentioned. I don't give you all the information, just if you want to come to Forhays to see the site, please contact me anytime. I mean, maybe not today because it's very icy still and the roads are not safe, but please contact me anytime. We have 2 site engineers that are daily on the site. They run the monitoring and the tests, and they also do guided tours in English and Arabic. And if you would decide to come, I would of course be there, and I would be very pleased and happy to be there with you and answer to all your questions. This is the tool that I just mentioned, the GIS-based planning tool, where we, as you can see the picture in the middle, this is an idea of how we outline the sewer network by gravity. The picture on the upper right, there you can see these are 2 communities where we go on this, we zoom into the community on household level. We see how many households should be connected, what is the topography, what should the sewage system look like, where should the treatment plants, these are the blue dots that you see on the picture, where should the treatment plants optimally be located in terms of avoiding pumping. We use the GIS-based planning tool also to do calculations for different treatment scenarios. As I said, we compare centralized treatment with decentralized treatment, but also we compare it to what's currently the dominating practice in many communities is disposal with tanker trucks. I'm almost done. This is the capacity development, and one thing that I mentioned before is I mentioned Water Fun, and I mentioned the education for teachers and students. But one thing that I should mention now is the National Implementation Committee for Effective Wastewater Treatment and Reuse Systems in Jordan that has started in 2012 and is developing a framework strategy for implementation of decentralized wastewater management in Jordan, meaning how topics like how should the, I don't know why this is not working. This slide is not working. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. This slide was supposed to be a slide where you could see all the authorities in Jordan that are members of the National Implementation Committee. It's 8 ministries, among which are, of course, the water authorities and the Ministry of Water, and the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Health, the Public Housing and Development, Public Housing and Development, Public Housing and Works, Ministry of Public Housing and Works, the Ministry of Agriculture, the GISMO, the Jordanian Standards, the Ministry of Environment, and Al-Baika University. Now we have 2 new members. the Jordan Valley Authority thing, I managed, yeah, Jordan Valley Authority. We have 2 new members. It's the German Jordanian University and the University of Jordan. We have the next steering committee meeting at the Dead Sea on Saturday this week, or is it next week? This week, from the 17th to the 18th. And we have 1 member of the technical committee here. I'm very pleased that you're here. Yes, and it would show that this slide would show you how the water strategy of Jordan, where decentralized management is mentioned as one of the measures to alleviate water scarcity, we base the activity on the water strategy. We have this committee as a round table. We have experts from inside of Jordan and outside of Jordan who have experience or special knowledge that connects directly to decentralized wastewater management, technical or institutional knowledge. And we have the different topics. And the different topics were decided upon by the steering committee. These are the delegated members of the participating institutions. And now they're writing for each of these topics. We have chapters, and we have working groups who write these chapters. And we have 4 and a half chapters finished. The 4 chapters that are actually really finished are in final version in Arabic, and most of them are also already translated to English and are now being edited. And we will have an Arabic and an English version that we will hand over to the ministry this year. So this is the last slide, Rifat, so I'm almost finished. The essential, but I was just disturbed by the missing slide, sorry. The essential bottlenecks for decentralized wastewater management in Jordan. This slide also indicates what remains to be done in the future. And since we have another 3 years, we hope that will be enough time to address most of these bottlenecks. Capacity for selection of small-scale decentralized treatment technologies. This means developing technology selection criteria within the authorities that would fit local conditions. This is, we think this is one of the major bottlenecks because the knowledge on technology is still wanting or is still needed to be developed because it connects directly to the capacity to tender in a meaningful and economically sense-making way. And it also means that with this, you would have a technology certification system established in the country for the purpose of improving or for an optimal technology choice in Jordan. And in terms of, or with regards to decentralized systems, we would also need a simplified environmental impact assessment. Not only because the environmental impact of those systems is significantly smaller than those of centralized systems, but also because this procedure would stop implementation because the capacities will not be there in the future. Integrated infrastructure planning with housing development. We have a chapter on urban planning. This is one of the most important chapters we found because land use and water planning they're not integrated at the moment. So the steering committee or the NICE committee was one of the first steps to integrate those works, and the people in the committee actually mentioned that they had never met before, and that this is the chance not only to devise implementation for decentralized, but to devise any type of integrated work that was needed before. Private sector involvement, I'm sure, I mean, Scott is here, so I'm sure he has a lot to talk about that if he had the chance now. But we also saw some bottlenecks that hit directly this kind of, or this field, that would be that if you are a company in Jordan, you have to register either as contractor or as consultant. If you register as contractor, you can build and design treatment plants and sell them. If you register as consultant, you cannot tender for such type of work. But a lot of consultants in Jordan, or not a lot, but some of the consultants in Jordan, there would be optimal partners for operational maintenance schemes for those systems, and they would, nowadays, they would not be able to tender, to bid for those tenders. Yes. Okay, I'll stop here, because you look to me so seriously, I cannot talk. You scare me. Well, if you have any questions.
She's working in Egypt and in Jordan for a long time, and so she did a lot of initiatives. It was a smart project, it was a nice project, and she covered a lot of issues, which is very important. Maybe you need 1 hour to cover your activities. Anyway, thank you very much for your constructive and informative presentation. We'll move to the second presentation by Engineer Nabil Wakila. He's a civil engineer with BCC till 1975, so he's an old man, yeah. From Trey State University, and it seems that he has a lot of experience in the area, and he is the chairman of Al Wakila company for construction, and recently he was a contractor with SWAM project for implementing one of the very successful project of SCBR, sequential batch reactor in Jordan. So please, Dr. Wakila is going to present the planning your wastewater treatment plant. So he's going to speak, actually, maybe not going to touch the technical part, but the planning issues.